Let's not dilly dally too much. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 53rd episode of the HSBG podcast. I'm your host, Educatedcollins. Here with my constant co-host, Shady Bunny. Shady, how you doing?
Hey, Collins. I'm great, man. Happy to be here.
Must be
That was
nice. Feeling great.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what do you want me to say, man? What do you want
Things
me to
are
say?
going horrible. You never say that, do you, actually.
Life is just tough. It's suffering everywhere.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Distracted with your kids. You can't just, well, kids ruining my life. Okay. Can't really say that, huh? Okay, I feel you. Fair enough. I'm all right. Could be better. Could be worse, I guess. Is that possible?
It's a good start. Yes, Collins. It is always possible. You play Battlegrounds for a living. You still need to ask if it can get worse.
Yeah, I do. I do actually need to do that. Because sometimes, I don't know. It can't. But I'm not testing the universe like that. So let's not do that.
He takes it back, universe. Okay.
I do. Anyways, as you can see, I do not have my camera on, but I have this lovely placeholder from Sun from a while back. I thought it was fitting here. I had a lot of I had a number of pictures to choose from. Actually, I could have just went with my logo. Could have went with the like I have this picture of just like me holding my thumbs up that I used to use sometimes on the stream. I could use that. Could use like the recent picture I took. But I was like, this one fits. However, it doesn't jump when I talk, which required more effort than I was willing to put in. So it's not doing that. But I think it fits for now. We'll see how it goes in the future. Anyways, I guess normally I've made topics, but I haven't really done that today. I mean, we still have the overview to talk about and whatnot, but this is really going to be pretty free form, which it usually always is anyways, but usually we have like some kind of structure. But there wasn't any like patches, I think, or any major changes this week, right? So there's none of that to really talk about, but there's still things we can always talk about when we're together.
Get to talk about the game, Collins. The best part.
I mean, sure. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Yeah. But we usually always start with a weekly overview. How was your week, Shady?
Sort of want you to go first. I don't know.
Why do I have to go first? All right, fine. My week was whatever. Not great. I haven't really been doing too well this week. Kind of losing. Also had some like DC issues. It's cost me I think 2 games this week, but it's still a lot because that's like 250 MMR. But still, that doesn't account for the downswing. I guess I would say so. I have some work to do if I want to compete in the next tournament, which I could have not played. Legitimately, I was number 2. I could have just like been like, all right, I'm done.
You were number 2?
Yeah. Like early, like this week. Now
This
I'm
week?
out of contention.
Oh, Colin.
Yeah. It's just how it goes, I'm free swinging, but yeah, it's the wrong time to be swinging downwards. But what can you do? I either have to play enough to recover, or not do that at all and just not compete this next coming month, which I don't really want to do.
Yeah, we're just playing a lot. Yeah, I hear it.
So we'll try to make it this week, but sometimes it's hard. I'm not in the right mindset. It's because I'm tilted already because I had that DC. So I need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely do it. Like it's not unfeasible in any stretch of the imagination. But
well, you're gonna have the weekend off, right? So then you have the qualifier on Monday, and
yeah, I don't have that much time. I don't have that much time now that I look at it. But
I mean, it's possible though, right?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're. It's like
I mean, the
super, super.
first month I was in like this very similar spot. Like I was, yeah, and it's just like effort, I guess. But
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
All right. My week has been not that eventful. I've pretty much just been camping. Just been sitting,
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
high
yeah. You
inside.
guys and your camping mentality.
Well, a friend of mine once told me I shouldn't have played.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I say that every month. Like literally last month was the same problem. Uh, but hey, I'm a glutton for punishment apparently.
well, I'm in the spot where God, EU is so crazy, man, and like I feel like the top 16 will break 15K for this one. They're still 500 points off, but it's 8 days, right? And the closer we get
I
to that
don't believe
deadline,
it. I don't think you'll have them all passing it up.
I hope so.
I think it's gonna
Because I'm
be
15,
like
man.
where it is. It's maybe gonna move up or down 100, maybe 200 at most. I don't really see them all.
200 at most. I
Yeah,
mean, I hope so, right? But people did such crazy shit last month with so much like just climbing at the end where I was like, this is unbelievable. I can't
yeah.
believe it.
Well, we'll see. Um,
Yeah. So I've, like we talked last week where I'm not even sure, was that last podcast I said I was not getting that much sleep or whatever, but either way, I got some, I got the 15K and then I just didn't get a lot of sleep.
mhm,
So I got scared to play more because I wasn't really 100%.
mhm,
And then I assumed I was going to have to play again this weekend because I was actually ranked 12.
mhm.
Now I've moved up 4 spots without playing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, but we'll have to see after the weekend. I think the weekend will be the big indicator. I think if this weekend people are pumping hard and I'm dropping to like rank 13, 14, that's when,
Yeah, it's very
uh,
possible that you might
yeah.
have to play. Like, I'm not saying you're not gonna have to play. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I'm 15K, right?
Right.
If the top 16, if I have to play, that means the top 16 gets 15K. So that's what I'm saying, right? I think that the end of this month, it's
To be
possible
fair,
that
I
we'll
haven't
see.
looked at the EU leaderboard, so I don't know what it looks like. I'm just saying I don't think it's gonna move like crazy. That's all. But
Well,
if everyone's already around 15K, then
top 15 is 14.7, and then you have JJ in 16th with 14 and a half, but it's JJ, right? Like he's been rank one, he's qualified the last 2 times. So he's gonna probably regain 15K as well. So it's essentially 200 less than 250 points to
yeah.
close that
So
gap. So
then that's doable. Like when you have
very,
like
very good.
round numbers, people like to get the round numbers. So it's very
Yeah.
possible that people go for the round number and then like finish around there. So since it's pretty close, I can see people going there and stopping. Yeah. Now the problem is if you're like their stop point, like if you're like
Yeah.
1501, they'll just like pass you and leave you there.
I'm 15041.
Oh
So
yeah, so
it's
you are basically a stop point of something to
yeah.
like
Well,
overcome
the
and
guy
stop.
below me, Orov, is 15015, right? So
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, sure, but the thing is, like, you can overcome you in one shot. That's the thing. Like under
yeah,
15, yeah,
yeah.
and that would be the issue. Like if you,
Like I'm essentially one good game away, I think, from putting me in a spot where people say, "Ugh, I don't want to push that
yeah,
high,"
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I'm also one bad game.
yeah, yeah, I know, I got you.
Of course,
It's definitely a
of
risk.
course.
So yeah.
I'll see. Anyways, without talking too much about that,
We've got
yeah.
nothing to
Overall,
talk about, Shady. If you want to talk all day about your MMR discrepancies, then that's fine.
well, so what I have been doing is I've been playing a lot of on my NA account, and I've been playing a lot on Twitch chat, and I've been climbing a lot there. So
Mm,
like what I'm doing is working, which is nice. I've been doing a lot of testing for the tournament. I've been doing a lot of experimentation with my weaker heroes, where I said, okay, let's say I get this pack and I don't have mutinous, right? Like, what would I take? All right, I'll do this. Like, what if I can't pick the Gallywix here? Well, I'll pick this. So that's been okay, just trying to find a way. Like, one observation that I have made, and this might not really apply to tournaments as much as ladder, but it feels a bit more like when I'm playing in a no Murloc lobby. Those were the ones I was struggling with. Just to give a little bit of context, I feel like Murloc lobbies I'm overall fairly strong. It's the no Murloc lobbies where I don't get the rag, I don't get the Vol'jin, I don't get the Mutinous, I don't get the hero that just comes with a pre-packaged here, scale and do your thing, right? I don't get Millhouse into a Nomi. It's like, okay, what do I do? And it feels like in those lobbies, I'm playing some more mid-rangey tempo heroes a lot more often because people drop that so fast. Because people shoot for the moon, right? In those lobbies where you get a lot more like Rafams and Omus and people just saying, okay, I'll just level and I'll try to get Kali or I'll try to get Felbat. And then, a lot of those people don't get it. So they die pretty fast. So that's been something I've observed in the no Murloc lobbies, because people, that go like, well, I guess I have to scale. I guess I'll shoot for the moon. If you're playing your Edwin or your AFK or your secret guy and you're bunkering down, it's pretty often that you're in the top 3 where you have that turn where bonk, right? The 3 people dying, like, oh, top 3 already. Still have my ass block. Nice. Because you had a game plan from the start and you just started, playing for tempo. So in those lobbies, I've been taking a top 3 a bit more often. And then sometimes you translate that tempo mid-game board, especially if it's Deflectos. Suddenly, you get like a Buster, you get Macaw, and then you turn it into a top 1. So that's been the stuff I've been experimenting with, and yeah, that's been it's been good for me because that was definitely my weak spot in this meta. It's the no Murloc lobbies. How do I tackle them?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Murloc lobbies are annoying. Personally, I'm the opposite of you. Because you have to play very similar, samey, and when you spike super hard since seafood is kind of broken. So. You get into situations where the spiker is like OP, and then if you are not like on that level or you have like that seafood, selfless counter, you're just like, well, I'm dying. I mean, the same thing can happen. The same thing can happen in no Merc lobbies, but it's more hero dependent, and that's maybe the more annoying thing, where it's not really hero dependent with Murlocs, because everyone can hit, random stuff. Random seafood. Yeah, where without Murlocs, if you get like Gallywix Nomi, which is what I lost to earlier, it's like, well, I mean, he has 130, divine shield cleaves, and I'm like, well, I don't have an answer to that, right? And how do I get an answer to this, like reasonably, like unless I'm playing a hero of similar caliber, right? Which can be tough. Whereas, if Murlocs are in, I just play some Murlocs. Oh, look, your Divine Shield, or your Winfrey went into my, my 10/10 Divine Poison. Oh, it's dead. Your 130 Poison is dead. Oh, it's like, it's a lot manageable. Like, there's a chance to win, right? Where without the Murloc Poisons, there's like 0% a lot of the time, which can feel frustrating if you are put in that position all too often. So. But I don't mind it that much. To
frustrating for the player getting poisoned, or
well, it's frustrating. I guess it would be both, right? Yeah, if you are the Gallywix, right, and you're like, I lost to this. That's basically me, right? Sometimes I'm the Gallywix, and I'm just like, I lost to this stupid poison stuff. That can be annoying, but it also gives you a chance, right? Where if there is no poison, you always die to that player.
I feel like if you're just good at this meta, that doesn't really happen to you, where you get like, oh shit, they had poisons.
No. I'm saying like, if there are no Murlocs, it's
no. I that's why that's why I asked for clarification. I thought we were talking about the Gallywix is annoyed that his thing ran into it and knocked it down.
I would say I was saying it's more annoying if you are fighting in no Murloc lobbies, if you're fighting the Gallywix and there's like, there's nothing I can do. That's what I'm saying.
That's my point.
I'm not really saying, I wasn't really talking the perspective of the high roller. If he's high rolling, he loses like that. Well, That's your fault.
Yeah, you mismanaged some shit.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So that's not, it can't really be annoyed. That's me. Like that would be me misplaying or whatever, right? Essentially. But I was saying, like, if you are in numeric lobbies and you're fighting the Gallywix, right? It's like, well, you know. Yeah, it's
That's
like,
fine.
yeah, you feel kind of hopeless there.
What are you gonna do?
Um,
All right. Yeah, no, it does seem like it's a bit of a divide where we've got a lot of people saying 7 has got to go, but they don't really give like a plan of how they're going to
do
address
people
scaling
really
or how
have plans, especially
yeah,
like,
no plans.
uh,
Just people riots, no
yeah,
plans.
I mean, especially like, gamers like, oh, here's my 7-step solution for fixing the meta. We do this, we do this, we do this, and it's perfect. Yep, ship
Yeah.
it now. And it's like, have you considered that your players are not dumb? It's like, oh, I did not consider that they would just circumvent my strategies here. No, okay. Kekawait. No, yeah, now we're in trouble. But I don't know. Anyways, you got any topics? I don't have any topics. Are we done with the podcast?
No, I mean I can talk about this game for hours. We don't have to go too long. We'll make it a short one this week, guys.
Are we actually
Collins
gonna
can
go under an hour?
I don't know. Like, keep time me, chat. Right? Let me know when we're getting
Oh,
close.
I mean, it's been like 15 minutes, so yeah.
15 minutes.
You've got like you've got like a whole, you can talk forever and you probably still won't make it. I believe.
All right. I'm basically just gonna open all my games from today. Here we go. All right. So, in terms of S tier heroes, what would land? Let's say you've got to take your personal top 5 or so. Just the stuff that comes to mind, where you say, okay, like
I don't
super
have
happy.
a list of heroes I like this meta. Actually,
Yeah, but there's got to be something that comes to mind where you're like, oh, I'm super happy
no,
to see that.
that was what someone asked me
Oh,
like,
okay.
and I was like, there's no hero where I get. I'm like, yes, like there's actually 0 heroes for me like that.
Interesting. Okay,
Where
well, I'll
I'm
talk
just
about mine and then you can jump on there. So,
sure.
for me, the two that really jump out are Mutinous and Vol'jin. Like those two, it
Mutinous and Vol'jin.
almost
Yeah.
feels like a lose on
Okay,
those
so
two.
I will say that I don't necessarily win with Mutinous, but you don't lose with Mutinous. I guess that like
Oh, I win all the time on
I
Mutinous.
don't nah. Well, okay, not for me. I guess.
But like, I had a Mutinous game earlier today where I ended with
I get like
3
seconds with
Meltdowns.
Mutinous. Yeah. There's always a high roller or something.
So if you're doing so what do you mean with there's a high roller? Is that just like what have you done in that Mutinous game then? You've made a big buddy, you've spit that onto 3 things, and then
Yeah.
what are you generally doing? What are you generally spending your time on?
I have no idea. Those the turns after the buddies are the blur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so part of the thing what you can do is, first of all, is it a Murloc lobby? Yes or no? That's a big deal. If it is a Murloc lobby on Mutinous, then I'm going to try and get my stats on things that matter. So Divine Shield Cleave, and I'm just going to start building my own Sephin with either Amalgadons, or something that's also really cool to try and win games is you spit on selfless. I've done that before. I've spit on double selfless, and then you run parrot, and then you get like a 200 damage selfless, where you're a little bit like Alakir, where your selfless trades 1-for-1 with something and then give shields. And you have a parrot to get extra shields, so you have a baron and you make a big baron. The big thing for me is, if I'm having a good game on Mutinous, it means that I can play my 2 buddies and then eat a big thing and see if it lands on a buddy.
Yeah,
I think if you're
that's my only strat to win
yeah,
the
but I
lobby.
don't think you can do that if you're not having a good game. I think if you're not having a good game of Mutinous, it's a bit much to, well, I mean, you can try, right, if you're desperate.
Sure.
Um But if you have that, let's say you're like 27 health still, right? That's like that point where you feel like, okay, I'm safe, right? I can play these two buddies. I can eat my. I think earlier today I had a first place mutinous where I transferred my stats of the first buddy to a cyclone, a bronze warden, and a nest matron, and I ended up
That's
tripling that
great.
nest matron.
That's dude. Give me Nest Matron, yeah, early, like with stats that
Exactly,
won't
right?
get sniped. It's so yeah,
Exactly,
it's
right?
so
It's
nice.
great. It's so good. And then I just went to tier 6, right? And I got
Yeah,
like,
okay, that's you're not playing Mutinous. You're playing Nest Matron that doesn't die. It's a different
well, that's
game.
the thing. Like, it's like the way, and I have the same thing on Vol'jin. People say, like, oh, just play a ghoul to counter Vol'jin. If you look at my Vol'jin board, it's like Caligos with Nadina and Tarragosas that are scaling and stuff. Like, I feel like these heroes, if you think about them in this very, very just defined way where you say, you are a mutinous, you will be on tier 4 forever. You will just play jugs, eat jugs, and that's it. It's like, well, no, you're a hero that can do that as a last resort if you need to. But your main thing is that you get this insane tempo spike from eating the buddy, which a lot of the games I can go straight to 6 from there, right? I eat my buddy and then you can go to 5. You're probably not losing. That point you go to 5. And then depending on your opponent, you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just go 6. And then you're on tier 6. And then you
Yeah,
can
maybe
start
I'm
playing.
not going to 6 enough with Mutinous. I can see that.
Well, you don't. Well, it's about a judgment call, right? You need to look at how strong you are. If
Yes.
you're not going to
Yes,
lose, then why aren't we going to
I
6? Yeah.
I am already accounting for that, and I'm already saying, yeah, maybe I'm not going to 6 enough.
Sure. Okay, good. Because I mean, you can play double Cali. That's great because when you're playing double Cali, you're like, oh, which dragon am I getting out of? With Mutant, it's like, I'll just eat it. No problem. No problem. So you can do the same, especially if it's a no Murloc lobby, right? It's just a stats fiesta at that point. But that's obviously not every game. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying
obviously it's not going to be
with
every game.
just Mutinous for me is so good because he has his game plan no matter what. And if you're having a particularly good game, then you're just playing your normal game plan that you do in other lobbies, meaning you get your Amalgadons or you get your Cali, but you just happen to have a couple of
When
guys
do
with
you
100
spit, by
damage as
the way?
well.
When do you spit the on your buddy? Is it turn 7 or turn 8?
So on 7 gold, I make sure I have one big minion, so turn 5. Turn 6, the stats get transferred to the buddy. Turn 7, the buddy gets transferred to the board. So on 9
so
gold.
9 gold you have your board. Okay.
Yeah.
I see
9
some
gold is
people
the.
doing it a turn later. Like
Yes. And I always
slightly more
ask, like, what the
stats.
hell are they doing?
Well,
So,
they get like, 10 health more on 3 things, but they take more damage is the thing,
they
right?
take more damage and they can't tier. That's the thing, right? They can't tier.
Right.
Like with us, okay, well, I don't even want to claim that my way is the best way, right? But I'm saying like I'm a very high success rate playing it my way. And I don't think it's like my way, right? I'm sure like a lot of people have that same rhythm.
Definitely not my way. I didn't play this hero till very late, until it was already discovered. I was watching other people like figure it out before I was like, okay.
Sure. But yeah, I mean that and then Vol'jin is one we didn't even talk about. Like, what's your comfort level with Vol'jin?
I always win, but I don't like playing it.
that sums up the experience pretty well. The start is always so monk-esque, like, oh, I'm taking damage and I need to find a target and this and that, and I need to make sure this thing gets some health but yeah, if you're a good player and you don't die early as Vol'jin, you're probably winning the lobby. Just because you can play strategies other people are doing, but your shit's just gonna have 200 damage.
But you have poison on everything. Like
Yeah,
it's so not
it's super
fair.
broken.
Like
Right? You can also play a cleave.
You do
Like
anything, but everything has poison. Like it's just like it's not a fun. It's not a. How do you deal with that? Like,
and that's why I like Mutinous as well. As Mutinous can also play normal strategies and just have random minions that have poison that shouldn't have poison. Right? You have like a Cyclone with 200 damage, or you have a Cleave, or you have a Bronze Warden, or you have a Deflecto, and you can still just do all kinds of normal stuff. Like I would say the most common winning board that I have when I play Vol'jin is I've got dragons and
I knew
Nadinas.
it. I knew it.
Yeah.
It's always dragons, dude. Dragons with Vol'jin is so
It's insane.
so
Like
stupid.
you have a Prester, but the Prester also deals 200 damage.
Yeah. Like you hit a single Nadina, and it's just like, oh, I can just like switch my board into full
Yeah,
dragons. Yeah.
like just random, like, and you can get dragons that are already divine shielded, and then you can re-divine shield them with the Nadina, and it's just
And it's
like Taragosa becomes premium, right? Because you could just make it very high damage.
yeah.
The Nadina shields it one time, then it gets perma shielded, and you can put it in front of the Nadina if you want to. So yeah, lots of so those are the two that come to mind when I'm looking at my super comfort. There's also a bunch of others, right? I guess like what about well, Shudderwalk for me, right? That's like that weird
uh,
pick where if I have the right lobby for it, it's just free.
I
Like
did
I
it
played it very.
once where I tried to do what you did, and it felt decent, and I was like, oh, I didn't do this well, but it still was okay. So
Yeah.
I still need to like practice, but then every time like it's hard to get that perfect shutter lobby, right? Like
Yeah.
shutter, and it's like there's no bees, there's no pirates. It's like the no pirates is the one I feel like it might actually be more important than no bees, which is funny enough. Like the ability to
Huh.
just like skip tiers or like go upper tier like crazy, but you do need the pirates for the. I mean, you do need the beast like for triples
Yeah. Well, the beasts are
necessarily.
the core. The
Yeah,
core.
I know. There, I mean, you need both. That's how I feel, right? But like,
Just for the listeners to, like come back to that because they may have missed that episode where we talked about it. Essentially, what you're, the
no,
very short.
why are you telling people?
Well, we are a podcast about the
I
game,
know,
Colin.
but like, sometimes you need to keep
Tell
some
him after
things
the
to
tournament, Shady. Don't tell him the spicy strats.
you're too knowledge sharing, I think.
Too generous.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Well, I mean, they can watch my stream.
Literally, I see no one doing it, and you're just like,
I
oh, let me.
know, dude. It's crazy. I don't see anyone doing it.
Exactly. So keep to yourself for a week or two. Come on, like, oh man, but
I don't know.
whatever.
I feel like when they're doing that, they're also kind of just like playing.
And to be fair, like you can try it, but you'll probably lose some games. Like if you really don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I
it's not a very, you're not gonna, well, I mean, maybe, right? XQN probably does it the first time and he's XQN probably does it on the regular already, right? But whatever. Like, okay, well, the basic principle behind it is you're just using your buddy to make alley cats in the shop. That's it. It's nothing groundbreaking, revolutionary. But of course, the difficult part there is, when are you tiering? That might be a little different every game. How many minions are you going to play on tier one? How many Battlecry minions can be in the game? That's something I'm still working on. I've done it with 3 different Battlecries. I've done it with 4 different Battlecries, depending on.
feel like
how
3
good.
is probably where it's okay.
3's, yeah, 3 is like you can do it. It all depends on how good your other options are, right? Like what's the other hero you're taking? And then I can say like, okay, how good is that for like, this hero is probably not as good even as a 4 Battlecry Shutter, where, I because when you think about it, if 2 cats is all you get,
Yeah, that's fine, right? Like that's that's the thing, right? You like even if the regular like the shady style is like too confusing. If you get like a cat or two, then you're just like, you know what, ignore it. Whatever. Let's just play it normal. Get my 2 5s, whatever. I just play it from there.
I
And
do that
that's
too
fine.
sometimes, right?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just like,
fine.
okay,
Yeah.
I've got enough cats. I don't need to farm them.
That's what I did the second time. I was like, you know what? I'm not. I'm
I'm
gonna
not
do
doing
it.
that shit. Come on,
Just
man.
get my 2 5s, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's another like Zephyrus? I feel is another like
That first
pretty.
is so. See the reason why. See, you still haven't listed a hero where I'm like, yeah, this one I guess it would be like pretty good.
Right.
All of these, there's problems with them. For me, Mutinous is
Oh, Vol'jin. You
Vol'jin.
said like you win every time,
I
right?
know,
So
but
is
I
that
don't like
really a
playing
problem?
it, right? So I wouldn't call that a comfort pick. Like it's not.
Hmm.
It's not something I'm
Okay,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I
I
want to
see
play
where the
this.
definition comes from, but
Uh,
I feel like if you're winning with it very, very consistently, that would, in my book,
I,
automatically make it something I'm happy to see. So it
that's
has to be enjoyable to play as well for you.
yeah. There needs my requirements are more stringent, But
Yeah.
I
So
guess Vol'jin is like the only hero where I win every time, but I'm not happy to see it. Like it's like that's the. I guess any other hero, I'd be like, it like the how winning with Vol'jin is somewhat frustrating in itself, in terms of like, I just feel annoyed because every time I kill people, I'm like, they've done this to me. I see the other end of it where I'm just like, this doesn't feel fair. It feels wrong. I feel I feel scummy killing people with Vol'jin, like just like, oh yeah, I have 2 cleaves. That's all it took, huh? It's okay, well.
Oh, Flurg.
Yeah.
That's not a like. Oh, that
Like
not
the
acceptable.
winning you win with brand. That's what I've noticed, right? So for me, if I'm not hitting the brand, it can feel pretty discouraging, I guess. Like, I've played it like it's because I've played like 4 games, no brand, right? Like in recent this week or something like that. So it just and then because of that, I don't win, right? So it definitely feels a lot more required because if you don't get the brand, you can't level as quickly, I guess, is maybe my issue, or maybe I'm playing that wrong where I should still level without the brand and just like try to force.
I think that when you don't get the brand is when you're actually more forced to level, because that's where you need the 7 quickly to start
Yeah, but
poisoning.
I mean, but if you don't get the brand like first, second, triple, you triple your other units to get the brand,
Mhm.
right? And then either you get there or you get like the 7 from there, and then you rely on
Yeah,
that.
okay. So my assumption is I don't get 7 or brand,
So you get
right?
nothing.
So
So you then
but
you
you're strong because you have like a 60 health Swolfin, right? Like just a house on the board because you've got your honchos and you've played probably a lot of Murlocs by then, and you've cycled your Seers and your Primal Fins and your Navigators,
yeah.
and you haven't hit your triples.
Well, no.
So
If that happens, then yeah, you do need a level because you need to hit
yeah,
some
you need to
poison because they will kill you with poison, right? Like that's
Mhm.
yeah. So I mean
It's
that's
more
not a
like you
good
want.
place to be in, right? The problem though with that is when you level late for 7, your other minions don't die, right? So you need to
You
also
play an
like
acolyte. You play an
yeah. So
acolyte.
you also need yeah. That's what I'm saying. You need to like
It's
go
totally
down a
fine.
unit.
Your Murlocs are chunkers. Like
Yeah.
I feel like once Flurk has done the buddy turn, your guys are such chunkers. Like usually by that time, I have like 2 golden honchos, right? So I just need poison on my shits.
You're
That's the only
getting
thing that really matters.
you're getting luckier than me. Double golden honcho would be nice.
I mean, you're seeing so many
Yeah.
Murlocs with
Maybe
the
you're
buddy.
forcing double honcho every time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not forcing it, but it's just like if I've got to buy a Murloc, and it's like, oh, I may as well just buy the honcho then.
Sure.
But
That's
well,
that's
let's say minimum 1 golden honcho, and
sure.
you
That's
have
very easy to do. I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, very, very easy. And then you've played a ton of seers and
Right.
navigators. So your guys just have a lot of HP. So I feel like at that stage, as long as you've got like those 2 to 3 big guys that can carry, meaning the Swolfins and Swamp Strikers that have the damage,
Right.
you can easily run a Void Lord or an Acolyte
Probably.
to allow your
Yeah.
7 to proc. So that's I think a key piece that a lot of people miss when they're playing Flurg. It's the oh my god, my 7's not procking. Well, yeah, you kind of have to play one thing, to help it, right? Like put the brand or a small Murloc in the front if you don't have the brand, and then have like the Acolyte or the Void Lord, and then you're almost guaranteed to proc if your Murloc isn't going into their Void Lord or whatever. Just keeping it alive.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have a taunt, your 7 has taunt, right? Like
Seven S
pseudo
taunt.
taunt. Yeah.
That's
So
that is confirmed. That is
yeah.
confirmed.
So you
That's just
gotta.
part of the coding, right? If you don't have a taunt, the 7
I
takes
wouldn't be
over.
surprised if that's like in the coding, like
Yeah, I mean,
increased 20% chance.
whenever you play Nest Matron and Seven, the game gets very confused because they both have soft taunt, and it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they don't know where to go, right? So
It doesn't get
if you
confused though if your opponent has a cleave, that it knows right where
no
to
no
go.
knows right where to go, right? That's why you don't put them in cleave range calls. Always put them two shitters in between, right? Got to spread
Horses.
them out, keep them safe. No, okay. So I think for me that's the third one, right? Like for me, I'm like very very very
Flogger was the
comfortable.
one I DC'd with. It
well,
was
I mean that's
Finley. It
not
was
far.
It was so horrible. I was so mad. It was Finley Flurgle. I was like, this was so free.
Oh God,
It
yeah,
was such a free game.
that is free. That is
Yeah,
free.
I was so mad. I didn't want to. I didn't want to do this podcast today, guys, but I'm doing it anyways.
That's how much he loves this, guys.
Yeah,
He's here fighting through the pain of disconnecting.
Right.
It is an awful feeling, right? And I'm sure that most of us have experienced it at some point or another.
It used to. You see, it used to be worse, right? Like in the beginning, I used to have like way more DC issues, but I've moved right since then, and whatnot. So the DC isn't as problematic, but it
I have a
used
similar story. It's going a lot better for me now as well. But it still sucks when it happens, right? It doesn't take it away, especially because it's so unexpected when if it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I know, but I mean, well, it was bad either way. But I see what you're saying. Especially in the arena times, I see arena, like, I didn't really care as much, right? Because like, I lost the game. Like it mattered if it was a deck I was like really like happy with. I was like, this deck is so synergistic. I had like 5 fire elementals. Let's go. Like, oh my god. Or I had like 4 jade lightnings. A jade golem. Oh my god, dude, it's good. And then like DC. It's so annoying. Right? But yeah. Anyways, there was no like reflection on MMR or anything like that. So. Kind of move on.
No, I mean, like we can go back and forth. No worries. I just thought it was fun to talk because I was thinking about that myself. Like, I think I'm gonna make it.
That's not a lot of heroes, by the way, that you've suggested.
No. Well, I haven't finished yet. I'm going through my list, right?
Okay.
So, the ones I have that comfort with right now that we talked about the Mutinous, we talked about the Vol'jin, talking about the Flurk. Next one I would say is a Rana. With the Murloc line available. She feels.
Yeah, I don't think there's a hero. I'm looking. I'm just gonna look myself and see, is there a hero? No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you could still give me your opinion, right?
I am giving you my opinion,
and as to why it's not, why it doesn't meet the high Collins standard of,
Well, none of these are guaranteed wins, I would say, except for maybe, well, I mean, if people want to like counter you specifically, they can, right? Like if you're against a Vol'jin and you're like, I want to make the Vol'jin's life as bad as possibly, they can, right? They can like specifically just run like beast counter or something, or like specifically hide tons of death rattles or whatever they want. They can make your life harder to play. It doesn't mean like they'll do well. And a lot of times when people do that, they end up killing themselves, right? Like to do that. So it's not a good idea, but
it also really depends on what kind of a board you have as the Vol'jin, because like one of my priorities as a Vol'jin is to build HP in some form or another. Where like most Vol'jin players are going to be really, really high on blood gems because you can do some really cool gem swap shenanigans with that. Or at the very, like stuff like before I'm going to make a big Deflecto, I'm going to swap the Bonker to the Deflecto to give it 7 HP. And then I'm going to buff it. And then they're like, I ghouled you. And it's like, I don't care. It's like, all my shit isn't going to fall over just because you have.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't think there's like, so.
Yeah, I know. Vol'jin's good. Ignore Vol'jin. Vol'jin is cheat. Like, that's not. I don't.
Vol'jin is cheat.
But the other heroes are not like, they're not Vol'jin level of dominance. When you get them set up anyway. So you still have to work for everything. Like there are some high rollers.
I'm working for a win. Oh God!
Yeah, I know, horrible. But that's that's the issue, right? There's no free ones right now. There are free top 4s, I would say, heroes that but top 4 is not necessarily good for winning. Like you still lose MMR for top 4.
Here is my sort of free top 1 hero. Elise.
Elise, yeah. Elise is
just disgusting, man.
If your early game isn't horrible, Elise is pretty pretty stupid. I'll give you that one. That one's fair.
It's the I think the cool thing with Elise is once you get comfortable enough that you can keep the buddy to when it's a golden buddy, and then oftentimes I milk the golden buddy like 1 or 2 turns, or I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is so unfair.
I've done
We're
that
like
for
2
sure.
6 drops, yes, please, and you get like 1 bonus one for tripling her. You're like, oh, it's just so yeah. So Elise is very, very, very good at tier 6 gaming, right? Like you can like it's probably the hero that gets double Caligos the easiest, double
Yeah.
Eliza, double
What
Buster,
heroes
Grand
give me double
Amalgam.
Caligos the most? You know what? That's a
Yeah.
good question I should ask. And there's where the joy starts happening, right?
You know,
Maybe Elise would go in there. I'll give you Elise.
okay, there we go.
It's closest in there.
Close
It's
enough.
it's the nearest.
It
But
might not win as often as Vol'jin, but it's a lot more satisfying to play when you got you 2 Callies and you're pumping. All right, good.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give you. But it's I wouldn't say it's like yes. I mean, it depends, right? Like I mean, you still have to watch the game out and see when you get your buddy and what your first 6 is and your second 6, and then we talk. Yeah.
Skipping over a big one here. Tess.
Eh,
Disgusting, right?
it still depends on what heroes are in the lobby.
A little bit.
I mean, it
but
does, right?
you steal the heroes, but you also steal the boards.
Yeah,
right?
I know, right? Like, you just have to be strong enough to not die when you're stealing like their good stuff, right? And if it's a lot easier to do if the buddies are good too, right? Like if the buddies are good, then yeah, like it gets nuts.
Yeah. Some games you just get so much help. Where you're like, oh, a free Phelan buddy. Well, yes, thank you. Oh, the Phelan buddy gave me a brand. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, now you're high rolling. All right, shut up.
Yeah, we just win the game. that happens a lot with her. There's so many random things that can happen.
Before, like when Phelan was always in every game, but now it's a lot less.
Yeah. But I mean, you can replace the Phelan with any a random Zephy, a random.
Sure, whatever, sure. Yeah, you just have to get those heroes in your lobbies for sure.
I feel like you roll into them somewhat often. Yeah, I'm just going.
The annoying part is when they're in your lobby, but you never fight them, right? And you're just like, and then like, oh, you're about to fight them, but they've spiked. And you're like, well, I'm taking, 15, hopefully, as long as no one's dead yet, and then I have to survive. Yeah, but yeah.
What about Varden?
Yeah.
He feels pretty silly to me a lot of the time.
Varden lets you create some big units, right? But then you still have to find direction. Like the nice thing is if the big units are also direction, right? That's when the games become like pretty nice to play. But if you're not in a position where you can just like roll until you hit something with direction, you're just like taking like, oh, this is good tempo, then you still have to like find direction after you get the good tempo. So it's not free, it's not guaranteed, right? You can still struggle a bit even with Varden, but yeah, definitely like once you get your buddy, it feels pretty strong. It doesn't fit my criteria.
Like Varden for me, it's like I had a really, really nice opener today where I think I got like double bacon on turn 2. So I bought the second bacon, sold both bacons, bought like I want to say a pop pot, it was probably more like a rock pool or whatever, and I gemmed it, and then I just had a big unit, which then that allowed me to go straight to 4 instead of Jeeve to 3. So Jeeve curve to 4. So then I'm tier 4 on 8 gold. So then on 9 gold, I have my buddy out already, and I can roll into 4 drops. And then you just copy something. I just copied 2 wildfires, and I'm just like, oh, all right, let's go. You just start dunking people. The turn after that, I get like Major Domo in the shop, so I buy. No, I think I bought the wildfires. I rolled, and then it made 2 Major Domos, which means that the turn after it made a third Major Domo.
You see, so yeah, your triple, your buddy gave you direction that they hit the direction, right?
Well, okay, but replace the Major Domo with Bonker. Replace the Major Domo with Nest.
Bonker, I would say, is pretty good Nest Matron is also direct. Like, there's
Replace
a
it
lot
with
on
egg.
4. There's a lot on 4 that you can do. Egg
Yeah,
is
okay,
maybe the
well,
least.
if we're going to take like half the 4-drops as direction, I don't think it's direction what you mean. I think what you mean is when it doesn't make a shit unit. Right? When it makes a unit that also does something on top of having stats. Because you could make a golden egg there, and that's like that's insane, right? You have a golden egg, that's a shit ton of health.
Sure.
Anyways,
I
that's
had
just
I
been
had a
my
Varden game. I think it was yesterday. I feel like I've played so many like where I started with the scabs or squabby, the 2/2
Mhm.
pirate,
Yeah.
right? And I just tripled that into a 3, and then I got the econ pirate. So just you're just playing econ with good early game stats. Very easy to play from there, right? Like,
Yeah.
I had I think I tripled that econ pirate and just had it like for most of the game. Just like
Yeah,
2 extra
golden
gold
knight.
the whole game. I'm like, yeah, all right, no.
That is very nice. I wanted to come back a little bit to Arana because, like, we mentioned her briefly, but how do you? Well, first of all, do you play Arana? And if you play Arana, how do you play her?
I play Arana. How do I play Arana? I don't know.
Good
That's
talk.
that's
So, do you do the thing where you stay on tier 2 and you roll for Swamp Strikers and Tats, or
sometimes.
okay? So for Murloc Arana, well, so first of all, I think when you're playing Arana and Elementals and Murlocs are in, I think it's usually you go with the Murloc approach just because the Elementals are extremely vulnerable to getting poisoned. Because it's pretty much just I'm going to build 2 Molten Rocks and I'm going to hope that you're not going to hit them with poison, which is not great in a Murloc lobby. So I think when both Murlocs
So
and
just lead
Elementals are.
Murlocs, what you're saying. That's all. Because if
Yeah,
Murlocs,
yeah,
if
yeah.
Elementals are out, it's like, well, I mean, whatever.
Well, I think that Arana Elementals is very good if Murlocs are out.
Yeah,
So
but if Murlocs are in and Elementals are
it's
out,
Murlocs. Yeah, if you
yeah.
have to
So
choose
like,
between the
so
two, it's
you're
Murlocs.
just saying lead Murlocs. Is
Lean
I'm
Murlocs,
just
absolutely.
like, yeah, it's
You're making it easy. That's good. Yes. If the both of them are in lean Murlocs. So the way I've been thinking about playing Arana, and the I think the ideal outcome is that you get to level somewhat quickly to 4, and then you get to roll for primal fins. You get to try to triple into Sephin. You get to try to triple into Bran. You get to try to triple into Baron for selfless. So the problem that I've been trying to solve when I'm playing Arana is, okay, where can I tier? When does it make sense? Because when I first learned the Murloc reroll, I was just treating it like party rock, staying on tier 2 very, very long, just building these large Murlocs. But I've been having more and more Arana first places where I get a good enough start early, where I just get Swamp Striker and Honcho, and then get a couple of turns where I'm rolling for Tad, and I'm just like, okay, I've got a triple here, or I go to 3 because I'm strong, and then when I have a triple on 3, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to level. I'm going to grab that triple into a 5-drop. You're like, oh, Bran, oh, 7, right? And now you're kind of like Flurg, but you already have these very large Swamp Strikers to carry you. And then the really cool thing is, usually with Arana, you'll have ideally 3 Swamp Strikers, 2 Honchos, golden, and those Honchos have a massive health pool but no damage. So if you can get the 7 to poison those Honchos, it's amazing because they got like 40, 50 health each, but they deal
so. What
like
if you
8
get
or
a
9.
brand then? Are you
Yeah,
selling
if you get a
one?
well, if you get a yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter at that point. You keep your Swamp Strikers and you get out of a Honcho.
Yeah.
So you'd have your buddy, you'd have your brand, but if you get the brand early, you might only have 2 Swamp Strikers at that point, and it's not a factor, right? Because getting 3 golden
Sure.
Swamp Strikers takes a while. So that's been the thing that's been working really well for me, and I've seen RDU do even a different variation on this. So his philosophy, from the game that I observed, that doesn't mean like, oh, RDU always plays like this, but he was just playing random shit on his board to get the 4, and on 4 he started to build his Murloc board, where he just instead of just rolling for Tads and shit, he rolled for Primal Fin as well, and basically just built a similar board with the 1/4 honcho, but he was getting primal fins and stuff. I don't know if that's more consistent. It feels like that's definitely a little riskier and harder to pull off. I think if you build the Murloc foundation on tier 2 and then level, that's a bit more structured, a bit easier. And then, I've seen XQN do this like stupid magic where he just gets 2 hoggers and a Rana.
It's hilarious.
It's just
no,
works.
That you're talking about all the players, and I'm like, yep, that's their playstyle. Yep, that's your playstyle. Yep, that's XQN's. I'm like, just high roll the hell out of the game. XQN. Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's his
risk.
Yeah, like
risk. Go risk, but higher reward. Yeah, that's already go rugged structure into like the high roll afterwards. Yeah, that's shady.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I do. I get a nice little foundation, and then we open it up to high rolling.
Yeah, it all sounds like all the players you're talking about. Like, it's like, yeah, I believe that's that comment. Like sometimes you'd be like, oh yeah, I was watching, like Beater, and he was just like staying on one and like losing the game. I'm like, no, that's not. You're lying. Where it's like, oh yeah, sounds like RDU. Yeah, sounds like XQ. It's kind of funny how you can just like you can actually tell. Yeah, like it's weird when you can probably like watch a game of somebody and be like, guess who is playing this? And be like, yeah, it's. You wouldn't know, but if you tell them, oh yeah, this is this person, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? Like maybe you wouldn't know exactly who's playing, but if you tell them the answer, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I can see this player doing that. That's kind of cool. But not a lot of games you can really do that kind of thing. Where, oh yeah, they're all playing well, but
it's cool to get that. To see that at that level, that there is still a significant difference in how people approach.
That was the same in Arena too. I was playing like late game control, and you're like, Collins, go face. And I'm like, what's the point? Just kill every card in their deck. You
crush it.
Yeah, and you're like, no, just kill them before they get their good cards. And I'm like,
see them driven before you.
Let them have their good cards and then kill them anyways. It's a different approach, but they both work. It's the same thing.
That was amazing. Yeah, those were great times, man. Like Collins teaching me how to kill their cards, and I'm teaching Collins how to kill their face.
It's not like I didn't know how to kill their face. It's just not as fun and not as interactive. I just you don't get to curse their soul. You just you shoot them with a shotgun, And here I craft a masterful plan where I see their family and I slowly, target every single one, making sure they watch, right before I finish them off. It's a different strategy. You go for the quick and efficient. I'm going a little bit more, a
little kill, yeah.
A little less merciful, I guess.
Oh man, I was thinking of another hero. There was one more thing before I wanted to move on to like some lower.
You have more? We're nearing the hour mark.
Wait, which one was it? One more comfort pick. If I don't get him in a moment. Oh yeah, Maev. I think Maev is sort of the last one of the ones where.
See, Maev's fun to play, but I don't always win. The fun factor is definitely like it reaches the bar, but the risk with Maev is also quite high. Is this the small issue with Maev? But definitely has the fun factor on lock.
When we're talking risk, is that risk of not getting your buddy on time? Risk of missing your triple?
There's all those risks, right? You can not get your buddy on time. You can whiff your triples. You can also, fight the wrong enemies, and your early game tempo can be weak, right? Where you don't roll into any like good early game stuff in the beginning, and then you're like kind of trying to recover. So there's, if things go well, right, like it's great. I agree, but there are some risk factors for sure. Though they can be mitigated, right, with good play and whatnot. So it's not like it's not a first or eighth hero that I think people seem to indicate, right? It can be a lot safer, but there are still it's more riskier than other heroes, right? I think that's hard to deny.
Yeah, she does take that. Okay, well, if you are not getting, your pup bots early, if you're not getting, like Weaver with demons or whatever it is
Yeah.
that's also winning your fights, then yeah, you're taking damage. And then especially in the games where you're taking the damage and the buddy's a turn late, she feels very like, oh god, well, this better be
Yeah.
two alive us, or it's over. So yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, we don't have to like go too low. I guess just like I think like one or two more interesting ones, more so
Sure.
to satisfy my own
But I
curiosity.
like the hero. Like it's definitely let's say if I made like a top 15 or top 10. I don't know about top 10, but top 15 I'd put it in there for sure. Like
She'll be in there. Yeah.
no
Yeah.
question. Elise in there. Vol'jin begrudgingly in there. Mutinous
Just because you get
begrudgingly.
the MMR, but don't get any ideas.
I don't know about Mutinous. Mutinous might not be in there actually.
I think that's criminal.
Which I know, but I'm just saying, like that's how it goes.
Like
But
it
who
might
else did we
be.
talked about?
It
Oh,
might. Well, we've talked
Arana, I
about.
don't know if we'd be in there. Maybe I'm not sure.
I think she's just so consistent.
Yeah, sure. You said that with all your heroes that you like. That is the requirement for you to like the hero. So,
Oh yeah. I like it if I win.
any hero you talked about that goes without saying.
But it's not true. I also like certain play styles, but yeah, I do tend to be very pragmatic. But it's not the only thing that matters. Like, but yeah, because I feel like, for instance, Vol'jin and Mutinous, they have a very specific play style that I enjoy playing, but they also do well. Right, so it's more like a combined package.
You said you had two more.
Well, yeah. So Millhouse is one that I don't know. Have you been playing a lot of Millhouse?
Yes, I've been playing too much Millhouse.
Okay. So is there anything in particular?
Why can't I get Nomi on the first hit? That's why I just like, why can't it just be easy and they give me the Nomi and then I get the reroll and then it's just like, oh yeah,
the no Murloc lobby.
Yeah,
right,
no Murloc lobby. I know, right? Like it's like why do they have to make me suffer and I have to work hard for these Millhouse victories? That's
I had
my
a game where I had the Nomi on like a turn earlier where you like I had a Elemental triple, right? So I was able to take it a turn before you normally take the 5. And I just triple into the Nomi. I was just like, oh my god, dude, this is the freest game ever. I just told chat, like, look, guys, now we're gonna buy the Elemental. Sell the Elemental. Buy the Elemental. So I was just like kind of making fun of how stupid the no Murloc lobby is. The thing is, like, I was fighting Eddie in that game and he was playing Vol'jin, right? So he got up to like 100 damage cleaves, but my guys were like 200, so it just didn't matter. It's like very depressing. But Vol'jin was like one of the heroes that could have done something.
It could have answered it, right?
Yeah, like I'm not sure if dragons were in, right? But if dragons were in,
you need another BS hero to beat that kind of stuff, right? Like
bullshit to have even a chance of answering that. So when you're playing Millhouse, are you pushing just regular tier 4 and then buying a bunch of 4s, or what is your like normal, usual approach on
I wish I knew the answer to this one, dude. So I mean, I guess it depends on the roles. But I don't know what the correct answer is, I guess. Sometimes I buy 1s and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is nice. Sometimes I buy 4s and I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice.
So I guess what happens a lot for me is I have a 1-drop pair, right? And then I kind of try to hit that one.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, but then you go to 4 and then I just start buying 4s.
Yeah, I do that too. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know if that's like the way, you know what I mean? Like first you try to get the triples and then you go for the 4s. And then depending on whether, like sometimes you'll get a direction or something, or you'll get the 5 and it's like, oh, gems are really good now, and then like, oh, you can get the 1-drop bacon, and yeah, so you go back to 1s, right? You're like, oh, the 1s are pretty good.
That makes sense. So yeah, I think if you get direction from your 5, you just follow that, and then that's sort of an end of that flow chart, that part of the flow chart, right? Like you triple the direction, great, do the thing, dummy, right? Like buy and sell your gems, buy and sell your elementals. So I guess what I'm talking about on Millhouse is what are you doing until you're hitting that direction, right? So we assume that the tempo, the 5-drop either didn't happen or it's tempo. What has been really, really cool for me is You have a couple of checkpoints, right? Like the first one, I tripled into a 5 at direction. Great, you're done, right? Just follow your game.
Right.
You're done. The next step is you bought a bunch of 4-drops. Cool, you got 2 reroll elementals, a major domo, and you tripled into a master. You're done, right? Okay, do your thing.
Right, okay.
Buy and sell elementals. The cool thing for me is when it's like, oh, I have 2 mechano tanks and just an egg and
I
some
remember
random.
my last Millhouse game. I like played Buster, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I got
Rolling
like
for
double
Baron on the
Macaw, Baron, Buster, like random mechs, and I was just like, "I don't want to roll. I don't want to roll." You know, but like, what do I do? What do I do? So I'm just like rolling, like I'm just like, why did I get here? You know, but like I got Buster, and there's like Macaw in the shop, and I was like, oh, I can cycle fries for Baron. I got the Baron. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing this right. It like got me to top 4 or whatever, but then like I'm just rolling 2 gold. Like it's just like, oh, I hate it. I just hate it. And I'm just like, maybe I should do something else. But like I don't know. Like it's hard to put your, like once you're in that position, and it's annoying, like because you get you go for it because you get everything in like one turn, right? You get like the Macaw, Buster, Baron, that turn, right? But then like the rest of the turns you're like doing nothing. That's how I feel. Like you.
So I would say my approach in that situation, because I was finishing my thought where, let's say you get the tempo 4-drops, but you don't get the game plan.
Right.
I like going to 6 then and just buy the 6-drops over and over and over again.
Okay, I went to 6. That was my strat. I was like, oh, I got nothing to do. I'll go to 6, and I'm just like, there are no 6s. And I'm just like, wow, the game is trolling me.
If you roll like 2 or 3 times, and
I did no 6s. I'm just like, well, I guess
ask
I'm
your
dying.
money back. That is a scam. Like Bob just ripped you off. Yeah, which is why I'll freeze any 6, right? I'll freeze a zap or whatever.
Right,
it doesn't matter, just so that I can start my turn by
cycling.
buying a zap. Yeah, sometimes I'll have 2 straight turns of just buying 6s, because especially if dragons are in, like if you get 2 Callies on Millhouse, once again, your game has been solved, right?
I would switch. I would switch for sure.
Yeah, so that would be probably my instinct if I'm in that position when I have the Buster and the Macaw. But obviously, if you're on 6 and you're not getting 6-drops, then you can't start cycling it. So that's just tough luck, because I think in that spot I would treat that Buster as tempo and just say, okay, I'll have this on my board for now to not die, and then I'll just start buying 6-drops en masse and prepare that Callios turn.
It's so annoying, because I'm like, okay, I can hit a 6, I can hit the Reborn, I can hit another Buster, I can hit triple Macaw, I can hit all of this stuff. Didn't hit a single thing. I was just like, damn, okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, I mean that's just bad variance. So
I know. I was just
all right.
That was my last Millhouse game. It was like
it's fresh in your memory. The pain's still there. Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, we're cresting an hour. I thought we wanted to go under, but
all right. Well, I mean, we can either do the last one or we can keep that.
We can do the last one for sure.
All right. So the last one,
we never get under an hour. Even when we have no topics, like.
I take it as a personal challenge, Collins. Like I can talk about this game anytime. You wake me up in the middle of the night, like, let's talk about Battlegrounds. It's fine. Just give me a moment, because I mean, it just takes me a moment to just think about it. I play this game like, I don't know, 6 to 8 or 9, 10 hours a day sometimes. You've got shit to talk about, right? Like even this little thing where we're like, oh yeah, we play Millhouse. It's like, oh, do you go for those 4s or do you level? Do you try to get the 6s? Or you tripling the 5s? Are you cycling your 1s? And that's just one hero, right? Like anyways, the last one I want to talk about was Silas. Is that a hero that you find yourself picking a lot? Is that just only if Murloc's out, Pirates in kind of thing, or like what's?
I don't like the hero, but I know. I didn't like the hero at the beginning, and I know that has like affected my. I always feel like, oh yeah, Silas. I recognize it's good, but but I don't like it, I guess, and that stuck with me. Even though I've had some disgusting Silas games, so I'm just like, this isn't fair. It's just wrong. It's so broken. I had those games and whatnot, but it hasn't like shaken my initial I didn't like the hero. But I play it better now, which is why it feels feels more of a hero than like more of a liability. Like I used to think it was a liability, like oh you'll die before you'll get your.
Yeah.
So I actually played a Silas game where I just stayed on 2, and just like
Sorlisk stuff.
yeah, I just went Sorlisk, and I just to try it, just to see oh is it viable. It was, and then I got like scammed by frogs, but like I played it well, right? Like I realized he was frogs, and I was like still healthy, so I went to 6, went for zap, went for double zap, and then I had like 4 games in a row where it was like 50-50 favored, and then the last one it was like he was like 30% favored, right? And I was like 70, and I lost all 4, and I was just like, come on, so annoying.
Getting lucky. Hello, yeah.
So annoying. Like, why can't I win a flip 4 times in a row? And the last one wasn't even a flip. And I was just like, come on, man, I just want to win this game.
Normally, you would have chat sympathies, but they're ruthless when it comes to leapers. Leapers must win.
Yeah, I don't know. Chat has a hard on for leapers. I don't know why.
It is the way.
I know why.
Yeah.
It's like it gives them a chance to win. You know, where if they tried playing normally, they'd have no chance. Yeah.
Every time there is a leaper player in the lobby and I beat them, it's like, oh, I must have gotten really lucky here, chat. I'm so sorry. I just scammed him. It's like, yeah, you're damn right, Shady. Like, you wouldn't have beaten leapers straight up. You scammed him. You scammed him for sure.
I do think legitimately if the person has a perfect leaper comp with like gems in and stuff like that, it's so hard to actually like get the setup.
You're just sitting there like, well, I have this one window where I'm gonna make a taunt thingy next turn. My Wind Fury guy needs to kill the Baron right now, and we're done.
Yeah, right. Like let's say elementals are out, so you don't get that easy Wind Fury access, and crowbars are in, beasts are in, and you're just like he has a golden Baron, and you're just like how do I get there? And he has like the taunt, like the taunted
the rats that makes the taunt.
Yeah, the sewer rats. And it's just like there's literally like one chance to hit the Baron. Like that's it.
Zaps help, right? So when I had this
I played double zap against him. It didn't do anything. I was like, come on, how did I lose?
I played golden zap with 2 regular zaps.
Oh, okay. I was okay.
You gotta take it to the next level, man. No, but
I mean, I was looking for zaps. Obviously.
I almost had every zap in the pool. It's because I was playing. I think I was playing full infinite tests with Hoggers.
Okay.
And I was like, I lost. And then I was just like, all right, roll. Just like save the zap, save the zap, save the zap. Just bam! I threw 5 zaps at. I was like, there you go, kill him, boys.
That was enough, right?
The 5 zaps was enough.
Okay.
But barely, just barely, right? Just barely, because he had like Rat Pack and shits to tank it. There was a lot of little shits in the way before I got to the Baron, but we killed the Baron in the end. The final zap got him. Like, yeah, good job, little Zappy. So yeah, it was very but that is to confirm your point that not everyone has the time to go and grab 5 zap to counter a comp that revolves around a 2-drop. So yes, a fully built leaper comp can almost beat anything.
Everything,
The tokens turn into like 300.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
You don't really outstat a leaper comp.
I don't think they understood the beast they created when they created that card. They're like, oh yeah, it's just a cute little frogger. It's not gonna be that effective.
Oh god, what have we done? When the macaw could buff itself. Buff. Those, oh man, those were some fights. So for anyone who just recently picked up the game, we didn't play back then, Macaw's text was not proc a different minion's death rattle. It was just proc one of your minion's death rattles. So your own Macaw could have a bunch of Leaper's death rattles and could literally be the only minion still left on the board. It would attack and then heal itself for like 2,000 to just rebuff itself with all the frog buffs and then do it again and then do it again. So, and then when if the Baron was on, or if it was a golden Macaw, it'd be like, it would just multiply, right? Just get more and more and more. So the parrot would, just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you could get your parrot so big that it overflowed into the the numbers and dies. Like
literally too big for the game to process it. And then you'd lose because your parent died.
and then you would lose. Yeah.
You're just like leapers versus leaper, and then the guy that was scaling slower was like, "Don't worry, we have the upper hand. In about 20 minutes, that parrot's gonna kill itself."
Your 10 million health macaw is just like, yeah, I'm gonna die now. Like, I'm good. Yeah. See you next life. All right.
All right, Collins. I'm gonna let you go back to your grind.
My whining. Oh.
Well, no, I mean you've got this, right? The first one.
I don't feel as confident this week, but I know it's just because I lost. All right, I've been losing.
Yeah, it's got to get some good sleep. Enjoy your.
I've been getting good sleep though recently. I don't think I don't think there's. Reset. It's just me playing bad. I don't think there's a
but okay. So what I mean is you've played bad and you feel bad, but then you get good sleep, and it's like the on and off button, right? That's like okay.
I've been on. I'm just playing bad while I'm on. That's how I feel.
Okay, Collins. What I'm trying to convey is that the way how you feel right now is a lot better after you've slept. No matter how well you've been rested, where sometimes, at least for me, right? I'm assuming it's the same for other people. But when you're in a position where he's like, oh, I can't imagine that I'm going to feel a lot better. And then you wake up in the morning like, I feel a lot better. That's crazy.
No, I just need to win 5 games in a row and I'm good.
All right.
Like that's that easy. I don't even have to sleep shady. Just give me 5 wins in a row.
Just win 5 in a row.
I mean, it's literally that easy. Like it's not even.
Got to bring out the paid actors, guys. Let's get the 5. Like just naturally winning 3 is not good enough. We need 5 in a row, or it will not do. Those are great days, though. I will say.
Those are
when that happens, you're like, I'm pretty good at this game. Yeah, I'm bit of a baller myself.
I would say, it hasn't. I don't think it's happened this week, but it's normally pretty common. That's my annoying thing. Actually, it did happen this week, but then I threw it away. Actually,
so it doesn't count. Threw it away.
No, like it's annoying because like you could throw all that effort in like 2 games, right? If you're not on, right? So you just have to make sure you're not like playing when you're not on or it's super tired or whatever. And that's like maybe the issue. Right?
That's a discipline part where I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that. It's just recognizing, okay, well, even though there's that little voice that's like, you could just win. It's like, no. Like I've got the evidence right in front of me. I've just made this mistake. It's like I know that I'm not always playing as good, right? Not every game is equal.
I still need to work on that for sure.
You gotta overwrite that voice and just say like, no.
But I could just win. Like
the voice is like, you could just win.
Have you considered just win?
Like what if your hero selection is 4 heroes you really like?
Yeah, right. It's so good.
Every shop is gonna be super good. And it's just free on the margin. It's like here's 4 obscure heroes where you're gonna have to really, really wreck your brain.
I agree. It's so annoying, man. Stop it. Like, I agree. I have nothing to add to that, dude.
All right, cool. You want to say goodbye to our listeners and Collins?
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry, I don't have the camera. I didn't feel like it. And not tomorrow, but next week's pretty interesting, right? We have the qualifier, so pretty sure we're gonna talk about that. And I don't know if there's gonna be any. It's been a while since there were patch notes, right? So
we've got a somewhat large patch lined up for early May.
Early May. Is that confirmed? Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They haven't thrown anything out of the details, what's in the patch.
The Naga, right? There's the Naga patch. Is that the Naga patch?
Yeah, okay, but it's not like we've seen teasers of minions or anything like that, right?
I know, but like, is that what the patch is?
I'm assuming so, right? But I think we've seen the Naga theme in Constructed, and there has been confirmation that there is going to be a patch in May. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair assumption that we're going to have.
But that's not next week, though. So that'll be the week after then.
Yeah, so next week we will have our debrief of the tournament that Collins and I will be playing in, which, everyone always asks, oh, good luck in Lobby Legends. And I guess it's like, it is kind of Lobby Legends, but it's not the actual event yet. It's the qualifier to get into the Lobby Legends tournaments. So I guess it is part of the Lobby Legends.
It's still important.
circuit.
Like, definitely wish us luck.
Absolutely. We'll
We
need
feed
it.
on your good energy or something. I don't know.
I guess we can like say which lobbies we're in, right? Like, because that's not like I have those or those are on Twitter here, or like they're on
You want me to
Discord.
make a topic?
No, I'll grab them.
I can do it.
It's up to you, Collins. I was just gonna read who I was playing against. But... All right, so
Are you giving me all this work?
do you want me to go over your lobby first, or mine?
No. You do whatever. I'm gonna try to get it on the screen.
All right. So Collins is gonna play in lobby 1. I'm gonna be playing in lobby 2. We were going to play in the same lobby, but then due to some last minute changes,
changes, we knew like someone was cheating apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
That
still
moved everything. That changed everything.
It was after the cutoff, right? It was after the cutoff time where like the ladders, closed, so to speak. So yeah, whatever. Change the language.
I need to check there. Twitter. Can you give me a link to the picture, actually?
Yeah.
But then again,
there you go. So in lobby 1, there are 2 Asian names, characters that I cannot pronounce, so I'll leave those out. Goddammit, Collins, RDU. It's in Discord, or did I miss?
Yeah, but then okay, if I have to check the Discord, your picture.
Okay, where do you want it then, Collins?
That's fine. I'll do it.
Well, this happens every time. It's like, do you want it in chat? Well, no, don't put it in chat. It's like, where do you want it? Like, Discord, I guess.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, whatever. So where was I? Goddammit, Collins, RDU, Karomon, Kersum or K3RSM, and then Babofat. So a fair few names that I know there. Karomon I've seen around, but I don't actually know who it is. And Kersum, I don't know who that is. And then the Asian names I also don't know.
You don't know your competitor, Shady? How could you?
No, well, I mean, I know my lobby. God damn, dude. I mean, my lobby feels so nasty, but I feel like you could place me in any lobby and I would have the same feeling. So
yeah, just for sure.
You're fighting
like that too last time.
It's just
it feels like I'm screwed.
I'm not supposed to win here, right? Yeah, I have the same feeling.
Yeah, but then again, it's like I guess
over my lobby. It's got XQN, then again 2 Asian names with characters I cannot pronounce. My apologies. EST, which is Rafam on Twitch. I don't know, like he just hangs out in chat.
Oh, that's him? Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That guy. That punk.
Then we have Alucard, Pompada, myself, and Bofer. So yeah, that's again, so very easily you could look at that and say like, yeah, I mean, how the hell am I gonna top 4 that? But we're just gonna play really well, have the confidence, gonna get Mutinous 3 times in a row. Vol'jin is also acceptable. There we go. And then we'll get there.
I think it's still the same format of like 3 games.
Yeah. 3 games.
Which is still like nothing. You could just low roll.
No, which if you were feeling like you're really closely matched, feels probably a little less where you say like, oh, maybe I'll just high roll it. Whatever.
And the thing, Shady, you're looking at lobby 2. You also have to look at lobby 5, right? Because you're getting
lobby 5, the top 4 of that.
Yeah, you're getting 4 from that lobby as well.
Are you getting 4 or 6?
I'm getting 4.
You're getting
so lobby 1 and lobby 4, lobby 2 and 5, and 3 and 6 are connected.
So yeah, then the eventual opponents, should I make it out of the first bracket, lobby 5, you got Waterloo, Aw Dragon, then again, my apologies, characters I cannot pronounce, Shipatro, Sleepy, Roger, Soren, and Kurt. That's again, right? Like the 4 highest point scorers of there will then move on to the next lobby. And then in that lobby, you need to be top 4 again. And it's really cool though, because you end up with this insane concentration of just strong players that played well and also
It's
probably
annoying.
got quite lucky.
It's annoying.
Yeah. For the final Lobby Legends event, well, the final stage of the Lobby Legends event is the top 16, which then gets cut down to the top 8. It's so insane. Those final 8 have been through so much at that point where you say, all right, well, you guys just fight for our entertainment. So for Collins's lobby, lobby 4, those are Haguran, Super JJ.
Yeah,
Again,
there's no one to fear. It doesn't matter.
no one of interest. Yeah, Collins got that. Like basically, if he makes it out of lobby 1, he's good, right? It's basically just dumb it. Just be a little bit careful for dumb it. Just
No, not
maybe get
even.
second place for dumb it.
Literally everyone is a problem. That's the annoying part.
Yeah, everyone has a problem.
I can't even list a person that I'm like. Bill's
So,
in my
super
lobby,
cool.
unfortunately. I wanted Bill to make it next this one as well. So is
You want
Lee.
to do? Sorry.
Bill, WTY Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
I like him.
Oh, you mean he's in the second lobby?
Yeah, he's in lobby 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to compete if we make it. It's annoying.
All right. Well, a fun little thing to close out with. I thought it was appropriate because next time we talk.
What about lobby 3 and 6? We're not in any of them. Any of those you're like, ooh.
So those are players we have absolutely nothing to do with for this.
Yeah, exactly. We're not involved at all.
Absolutely not relevant. I guess I'll be rooting for some EU and I guess Eddie, right? Eddie in lobby 3, Eddie, Zixo, and then lobby 6. Who do we got there? We got Zork, we got Tyler there. If I'd have to pick 2 from those lobbies, right?
Yeah.
Zixo and Eddie, and then Tyler and Zork.
Okay.
That's probably the ones that can advance there for me.
That's fair. I think those are fair names. I think. See, the problem is everyone is strong, so
everyone is strong.
I can't really like satellites are not nasty. So is
if they made it here, they're probably nasty.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Zonyu, a big fan of that guy.
He played some really nice pirate comps in the finals.
Annoying, dude. I could have won, dude. I lost a 50-50 flip. It's so annoying. In that game.
But we talked about this. You scammed the hell out of that Omega Buster.
Quiet. That never happened.
Literally after the tournament, calls be like, "Man, I could have won that pirate game." I was like, "Dude, you're like 20% for stop."
Quiet. That did not happen.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Anyways, I think now we can say goodbye.
All
right, Chad. See you next time. Thank you so very much for listening. This was, you know where to find us right by now. Shady. I'm now Shady Bunny Live on Twitter. No longer F2K Shady. So there you go. Big change for me.
Cool. I haven't changed anything. But yeah. Today's my last day of streaming until the Monday, until the qualifiers, since I will be at the LCS tournament over the weekend. So blah blah blah. And then next week I'm probably just gonna grind it out and see if I can make it. If I can't make it, then I will wallow in self-pity, probably, if we're being honest. But let's just not have that happen. I actually think I'll be fine if I don't make it. Actually, I think I'll be more okay with it this week, this season.
I'll be devastated. So yeah, just a heads up.
Yeah, well, I'll try. I will try, but we'll see. Anyways, take care of yourselves. Have a nice, wonderful day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm probably still streaming after this, so the people on Twitch, I'll be around, but the people
live
watching the VODs
feels good, man.
Yeah.
All right. That's a wrap then.